So in this video I'm going to show you how to make the exploding cube. So if I just flatten this down now, so I'll squash that down, you can see it's flat. I'll pop it down on my mat here. When I let go, it will pop back up and it will become a cube again. So I'll move this out of my way and bring in this die here. And this is the main die that comes in the exploding cube die set. So it will come from this pack here. And what you need to do is cut out 2 pieces of card. So I've already gone ahead and cut my 2 pieces out here in the white and the lilac, and for this I'm using a lighter weight card of 180 GSM. You don't want to use a heavy card for this. So I've put my folds in the white piece, so I've just got the lilac piece to do here. And when you're cutting out your piece, your die will already put the score lines in for you, so if I lift this up now, you'll just be able to see where all of those lines are. So all I need to do now is fold all those over and burnish all of those score lines. I'll start this tab and then just literally work my way around the whole of the shape here. And there we have it. So now I've done this, I'll bring my white piece back down here. It's now time to pop the tape onto the tabs. So you can see I've already done these 3 here. I'll get my tape, and you definitely want to use a red liner tape for this. It's a really good strong adhesive and it will definitely keep your cube together. So I've got my 3 tabs. I've got the one here, the one on the other side, and then the one at the top, and that will be where I'm going to put my tape now. So I'll just find the end of my tape if I can, and I'm just going to pop it down on this first tab here. So as you can see, I've only got a thin tape here, so what I'm going to do is pop 2 strips of tape on, just so I know that I've got enough adhesive there to keep my cube together. So I'll do the same on this side and put my 2 strips. So I've got my 2 pieces with the 6 tabs, and each tab has got their red liner tape on. So now I shall turn these 2 pieces over like that, and where those 2 top tabs are, I want them facing in the same direction. I'm going to work on this lilac piece first, and I'm just going to put all the folds in place ready for assembling the cube together. So this top section here, I'm going to fold this part right down onto that centre square, and I'm just going to burnish that fold with the embossing tool, and then fold this section back, and again run the embossing tool over, and that just leaves me with this tab here, which I will fold back down, and you can see that's where I've just popped the red liner tape. Then I'll just do exactly the same on this side, so fold the section up and then fold the next section down, and then with that tab I'm just going to fold that up, and there you can see that red liner tape again. So this middle section, you can see there is a score line in between the 2 holes here, and I want to have that so the fold is facing up towards me. So I'm going to pinch those 2 pieces together like so, and then just pop those other 2 folds in place that are either side. So when I pop that back down, you'll see that there's a mounting fold, sorry, a valley fold, a mounting fold, and a valley fold. Then on this tab here, I'm going to fold that up and just leave that part there. And now I'm going to do the same with the white section. So with the top part, I'm just going to fold that down and then run my embossing tool over that score line, and then fold this section back onto it, and then as before, that'll leave me with that tab, and I'll just fold that over there so my red liner tape is there. Okay, and then onto this bottom section, fold the whole part up, burnish that fold, fold the next section down, and then fold the tab up. And the same again, pinch those 2 pieces together, so my fold is like that. Then I'll just put these other 2 folds in place, so when I pop it back down flat, the 2 side folds are on the mat, and that centre fold is facing up towards me like that. Okay, and then the same again with the tab, just fold that over and burnish that score line. So I'm now ready to attach my 2 pieces together. So what I'll do is take this section and just remove my red liner tape from the tab here, and then I'm going to line my two pieces up and just butt those two pieces together. And then when I'm happy that those are two pieces are in place, just pop the tab down and then make sure it's all stuck down. So when I turn it over, you can see it's stuck together nicely, and we are good to go with the next stage. So now I need my elastic. So I've got an elastic band here. I'm just going to take my scissors and trim that. So I've just now got one length of it. And what we need to do is thread it through those holes that have been put in place from the die. So I'll turn that round, and starting down here, I'm going to get my elastic and I'm going to thread it through these two holes. So I'm literally just threading it through. Once I've got that through, I should just tie that in a double knot here and keep it securely in place. So one more knot, then take my scissors and I'll just trim that little section off. So then with the other end of the elastic onto the lilac section, I'm just going to thread that through the two holes as before. Just pull that piece through, and this time I'm going to literally pull on that elastic and pull the two sections together. So there you can see I've got a bit of a gap there now. And what I'm going to do now is grab my ruler in place, and I'm going to measure a gap of 2.5 centimeters. So if your gap is too small, the elastic will be too tight, and if you've got a too big a gap, it'll be too loose and your cube won't spring back into position. So when I'm happy that I've got the 2.5 centimeters there, I shall just, as before, tie that into a double knot to keep it in place. So I'll just unhook the elastic there, pull my knot tight, and then just pop another knot in place just to make sure it's nicely secure. There we go. That's that final knot in place. I'll just grab my scissors again and just trim off that excess elastic. So as you can see, my two pieces are now tied together nicely there. We will now go on to sticking the rest of the cube together. So what I'm going to do now is carefully holding this lilac section down, I'm going to gently fold the white section back so the two pieces are flat again. And now it's going to be easier now if I just hold this in place with one hand. I'll just grab my bottle of glue and I'm just going to weigh that white section down while I'm working on this end here, taping my pieces in together. So where I've already put my folds in, I can easily pull those down and take my red liner tape off of this tab here, like so. And then I'll do the same on this section, just fold those parts in and remove my red liner tape. Unstick that, and now I'm going to take this whole square section and we're going to fold that over and stick it onto this lilac square here. So trying to keep those tabs tucked in at the sides, I'm just folding the whole thing over, just gently move my fingers out of the way, making sure those tabs are tucked in at the sides, like so. So I want all my edges nicely lined up and making sure those tabs aren't sticking out. So I'll just make sure they're all lined up. I'm just going to push down and then just rub those two sides down to make sure the tape has grabbed onto that section. So I'll just pull that over. I'm now going to do the same on this side, so I'll move my glue out of the way. So I'm just keeping one hand on that lilac section as I'm doing it, because obviously the elastic's all tied there. And I'm going to bring that tab down again and remove the tape. And that second piece, I'm going to fold that triangle in and remove the tape from off of here. Fiddly stuff. There we go. Okay, and then now I need to tuck those two sides in like before, and then I'm going to lift this square and fold that over. So keep those sides tucked in, lift this panel over, and I'm just going to, like I did on the lilac side, make sure that all those tabs are tucked in, all those sides are lined up nice and neatly, and when I'm happy with that and it's nicely lined up, I can just rub that section down and make sure the tape has grabbed. So now I'm just left with this tab here. There we go. So I'm just left with that tab, so we'll remove the tape from here, and this should be the last piece that we need to stick down to keep this cube together. I'm going to lift the square so it's opening almost like this, and we're just going to tuck that tab in and glue the lilac panel back over that tab. So that's just joined the cube up nice and neatly like that. That's all joined up. So then all I've got to do now is open up my cube, and there we have it. So if I just fold that up, make sure it's all working, flatten that down, and I'll let go, it'll pop up, and there we have our cube.